This video is not sponsored.
Welcome back, J&E family. This is your girl Essence, and today I want to bring you a special video showing you how to make sea moss gel. Now, if you've never heard of sea moss before, it's also known as Irish moss. This actually comes from the sea, and you want to make sure you get it from a good supplier. So I love to get my sea moss from Vital Vegan. Make sure you check them out. I will leave their website and their Instagram page in the description below. But these are the things you will need: a large bowl, a glass container with a lid, ice cube tray, one lime cut into fours, and 1 gallon of spring water. Now, the benefits of sea moss: it gives you about 90 to 102 minerals that your body needs, excellent for rashes, bones, weight loss, colds, flu, and so much more. Now, Vital Vegan also have other things that they sell. If you have never heard of soursop leaves, this is excellent, especially for cancer patients. So make sure that you do your research on soursop. It's really good for your health. Now, with my sea moss bag, I've already used a little bit of sea moss about a couple weeks ago, and it lasts me about 2 weeks. So at the top of this bag, as you see, is kind of empty at the top. So that is the amount that I use, and again, it lasts for about 2 weeks. So today I'm going to use a little amount. A little goes a long way. And I'm going to take that amount and I'm going to put it in this bowl. All right, so I took the amount that I need and I placed it in the bowl. As you see, it looks really dry, and you may look and say, hey, this is a small amount. How is this going to last you 2 weeks? But watch, keep watching. It does expand when you add water, but they do dry out the sea moss in Jamaica sun. So it's very interesting how they prepare the sea moss for everybody. So go ahead again and check them out. So first you need 2 limes. You want to squeeze that in the bowl with your sea moss. And you need spring water. Now here I added faucet water, and the reason why is because I'm just really cleaning it. This is just the beginning of the process. I'm just cleaning it, and my faucet water is pretty good. I actually tested with my tester that I have. But I just want to move it around with my fingers, squeeze that lime in there, those 2 limes that I have, and just move it around in the water. So we're just soaking and cleaning the sea moss. And as you see, it's already expanding since we add that water in the bowl. Just move it around and clean it. So as you see, there's some pieces in my bowl. So your sea moss, you are going to have things, because remember, it's coming from the sea. So you're going to have pieces from the sea that you need to take out, and you will know because it looks really dark. So go ahead and take those pieces out because you do not need that. Now sometimes sea moss comes in different colors. So you just really want to look at the sea moss and make sure, is this a sea moss that's a different color, or is this a piece that came from the sea that we need to take out? So just really examine the sea moss that you have in the bowl and look at it. You see, I'm still cleaning it, but I will make sure I list all of the different types of sea moss that they have out there. But this one here is the regular sea moss, and is really the strongest. For example, they have a purple sea moss, and that's really good. But the regular sea moss give you a little bit more minerals. So you just have to have patience, go through it really good and clean it. And I just want to give you a close-up of what I took out. So this is what you don't need in your sea moss. Again, it's scraps that came from the sea, so we'll just go ahead and discard them. All right, we got our sea moss looking all good. It's expanding. So what I did was I let my sea moss sit in that bowl of water for about 6 to 8 hours. It all depends on the amount of sea moss you have, but the amount that I had is going to last me about 2 weeks, and I let it sit in that bowl to expand for a total about 6.5, 7 hours. What I'm doing now is just squeezing the other 2 limes that we didn't use on the sea moss. And what I'm doing now is adding some spring water, the spring water that we had in that 1-gallon container. I'm adding that into the bowl because what I'm doing is I'm washing the sea moss again to make sure that it's fully clean. All right, and I'm just moving it around. Make sure that there's no pieces in this bowl. We have to make sure that our sea moss is completely clean and good enough before we blend it. I think I saw a little piece, so I went ahead and took that out. All right, so now I am ready to add this into my blender. It doesn't matter what type of blender you have. Of course, it's best to have a really good blender, but if you have a really cheap blender, hey, that'll work too. You just gotta blend it a little bit longer. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing a handful of sea moss, using that spring water, and just rinsing it before I add this handful into our blending cup. And I'm just showing you a close-up of me doing it again. I'm adding some more sea moss, rinsing it, and adding it into the cup. Now, if you remember from the beginning, I showed you the soursop leaves from Vital Vegan. You can actually make some tea, because that's what the leaves are for, and add that into your sea moss blending cup as the liquid to help it blend. But instead, I'm going to use spring water because I don't feel like making tea. So I'm going to use water instead. You just need a little bit, enough to blend the sea moss. You don't want this to be real loose. You want it to be a gel. So just a little bit. All right, so I'm blending that bad boy. It's looking all good and smooth. It actually reminds me of applesauce. That's the consistency of the sea moss. As you see in the cup, it's really smooth. And I'm about to put half of it in the ice cube tray and the other half in our glass container with the lid on it. There are 2 ways you can take sea moss. The first way I'm about to show you is by adding the sea moss in ice cube trays, and you can freeze it. It will actually last in the freezer up to 3 months, and you just pop out a couple of cubes, put it in your smoothies. I usually take about 2 to 3 cubes, put it in my smoothies, and it's delicious. You can't even tell it's in there. Now, sea moss does have a slight sea taste, but just to let you know, so I personally prefer it in my smoothies or applesauce. But when it comes to the gel that I'm putting in this container, it only lasts up to 2 to 3 weeks in the refrigerator. So you can add a scoop or a couple scoops of sea moss in your oatmeal. You can add it in your stew, your chili, whatever you're cooking. So this gel looks excellent, and it can last you up to 2 weeks, the amount that I have. But to be honest, for me, it may last me a little less. And that's because the more sea moss you take, the better it is for your body. So I do use a little bit more, but the average amount to use is about 2 tablespoons or 2 ice cubes per day. If you have serious problems like health problems, then you probably want to go up to like 4 tablespoons a day. So I'm showing you that you can mix it in your applesauce, or you can make a smoothie like I do. Just add your fruit, add your other things in there like chia seeds or whatever you have, and your sea moss cubes. For the gel, you can just do a couple of scoops and put in your oatmeal. But remember, there is a sea taste. So again, I like to have it in my smoothies because you can't really tell it's in there. So this is what it looks like as it's set a little bit in the container. I'm taking about 2 tablespoons and I'm putting it in a bowl and adding applesauce. So I'm just showing you what it looks like. This is also excellent for children. Yes, children can take sea moss. It's very good for them, and I highly recommend them taking it. And this is a good way that they can take it each day. Put in their applesauce, put a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Honey, they won't even know what's in their applesauce. It's going to be delicious. And sea moss also give you a lot of energy too. If you have any aches and pains over a period of time, those aches and pains will go away. So you just got to be consistent with taking sea moss. I'm adding some cinnamon and just mixing that in. Eating it this way, I can't really tell that sea moss is in this applesauce. But if I add it in my oatmeal, sometimes I can taste it. So I have to add a couple of things to it. Alright, so this is what it looks like. I put it back in the container, and that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. Have a great day.